Hey, I'm back. This isn't really that soon, but anyway. I just want to say that these are my own personal opinions and K-pop is not that deep, so if you cannot handle differing opinions, please don't even bother watching this video. Y'all are mad that these younger idols are being held to certain standards, and that's kind of what happens when you debut in the industry, and regardless of age, and that's kind of what happens when companies are debuting 13 or 14-year-olds left then, right now. If idols are going to debut regardless of age, there are expectations to be met and they will be criticized. Thinking back at myself when I was 13 or 14, and there's no way being in the industry would have been healthy for my development. I will not be standing any groups with 13 or 14-year-olds being the age of most of the members, like I just personally will never. I don't think it's fair to the idols themselves to boycott them when they've already debuted, as in the case of New Jeans, but I won't go out of my way to support a group with majority of the members being under 15. Even so, the reality is that if these idols debut, there are standards they are expected to meet. Blaming Soyeon for idols' unfair line distributions. I won't lie, at a point I was also blaming her for how unfair their line distributions are, specifically how little lines Suha gets in their songs. And though I do believe the line distributions could be more fair after watching the recording behind for Nude, I definitely understand why Suha gets so little lines. I've always been understanding of why Soyeon gets the most lines, but watching the recording behind really shows just how much Soyeon puts into the group and her craft. Though Suha is improving, I understand why she gets considerably less lines. I don't really keep up with the group, so I don't want anyone to think that I'm discrediting any of the other members, but it's really undeniable how much she adds to the group, despite me not loving her raps. This opinion, in particular, is very much my own opinion, so remember that before coming to the comments doing the most, because I already see it coming. Lisa and Jisoo have my favorite singing voices in Blackpink. For Lisa, I just personally find her voice very soft and nice to listen to. I actually prefer her singing voice rather than her rapping. I really loved her cover of Love with Rosé. Jisoo is the lead vocalist, so I don't think this is quite as surprising, but I know people tend to prefer Rosé. I only prefer her voice slightly more than Rosé. I actually think all of the Blackpink members have nice singing voices. Not every skinny idol is unhealthy. Some people are just skinny. I want to preface this by saying I do understand that certain idols are underweight, and that should be concerning. I recently saw a YouTube reel listing female idols who are, I guess, too skinny or look unhealthily skinny, which, if you don't see the problem in that itself, is like wow. Danielle from New Jeans was on the list, as well as other idols who are very clearly naturally skinny girls, and I was really appalled, truthfully. This is the kind of thing that causes body image issues for young girls. If you look at her pre-debut photos, you can tell Danielle has always been skinny. If I'm wrong, and in the future things get worse, then I completely retract this opinion, and I understand the concern around idols being too skinny, but this is not okay, and this is not solving the problem. Honestly, is doing more harm than good. Also, why is it always just female idols we talk about when we talk about idols' weight? The hate for Bahiyyih is unnecessary. People who don't like her have made it seem like she is the most untalented idol to ever exist, and it's kind of the same thing they do with Wonyoung, but to a lesser degree. I blame Mnet and Wakian to an extent because of the way they've gone out of their way to brand her as just the sister of Hooning Kai. I honestly believe that people don't even care if she can sing or dance well, they will still make her out to be talentless and undeserving because of bandwagon mentality. I was in a group chat and she was mentioned, and the first thing I see is someone saying they hate her because she isn't the rightful center of Kepler, and she isn't even the center of Kepler in the first place, nor is she treated as such. Even the actual center of Kepler isn't treated as the center. I's arguing with Revelov on Twitter over a Floppan article when they have way bigger problems than a almost 9-year-old group who have already made a solid name for themselves in the industry. Discrediting Red Velvet's achievements isn't going to get y'all that comeback. If we're talking numbers, since that's all mice want to do, Red Velvet are still the most streamed SM artist on Spotify with the highest monthly listeners. Red Velvet, as well as ITZY, and Blackpink are the only female artist to surpass 2 million copies sold on Circle chart in 2022. Feel My Rhythm had the highest real-time ULS peak on Melon 2022. Red Velvet are SM's first artist to reach 1 billion views on their personal YouTube channel, despite most of the groups having way more content or just being way more active as a group. Feel My Rhythm being the third-gen song to chart the best in 2022. The list of their achievements in 2022 goes on, then talking about their engagement on their Instagram account. Red Velvet's Instagram is pretty much unused for the most part. So yeah, the engagement isn't going to be the same as aespa when none of the aespa members have their own Instagram accounts. You would just think that's common sense. The only time Red Velvet even used their group account is to promote something. They've had their own Instagram account since 2019. Jisoo is not the best visual in K-pop. Kind of the same thing as Lisa. Because of Blackpink's popularity, she's been deemed the best visual in K-pop. And although beauty is subjective, I can name many other visuals who stand out more than Jisoo. I've seen visuals who aren't from the big three that I feel are deserving of at least a fraction of the attention Jisoo gets, but that would never happen because popularity trumps everything else. Again, Blackpink members dominate every poll even when there is a very clear correct choice, and that really speaks for itself. I've seen Rosé win against Wendy in vocal ability polls, so there's that. You can come in the comments saying you think Jisoo is the best visual in K-pop, and to that I say, interesting. There will never be another Twice or Blackpink. The comparing doesn't make sense. The BTS paved the way argument is tired as fuck. Idols don't have to be great singers, but they should be able to sing live and at least be stable. When I said SM should utilize girls on top, this is not what I meant. If adult idols want to twerk at their concerts, they should be allowed to. Numbers don't equal good music. Yeri isn't the strongest singer, but she absolutely is a good singer. The lack of respect in 4th gen for senior idols is crazy. aespa's choreography is boring to me. 4th gen stans need to be humble. I don't care for English pre-releases all that much. Honestly, I'd prefer it stopped. Nobody has to accept Giselle's apology, go cry about it.